Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
All right. So,
good.
Where would you like to start?
Well, there's a couple of things I wanted to tell you about, just, that have happened since we last spoke.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I need to get that done so that they're out of my head.
Okay.
One of the things that happened was that, you know how I talk about that, what happens when we get to that point where you ask me the question, we're talking to a part and we get to that part where you say, what does it want you to know?
Yes.
And I have that kind of shutdown thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that I would try and figure out what that was about. To be honest with you, James, it's like all the other things that happen. I don't actually remember. I don't remember much about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get to something, and so the question that I got to that seemed to be easier for the part to respond to was me asking the part, what is it that I need to understand, rather than what is it that you want me to know? And somehow or other that seemed to put the onus back on me. That was about me taking responsibility for.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what?
It's not like the part is complaining or something. It's more like,
yes.
Here's what you need to know.
Yes.
Or understand.
Yeah. And part of what I was getting was, you already know. What the fuck are you asking me that for? You know. That's what I was getting from the part.
Okay.
So it felt like that question was putting something on the part that.
Yeah.
It felt like I needed to take responsibility for, or that wanted self to take responsibility. And I think it might be just a semantic thing.
Yeah, but that's really important, and I'm so glad you figured that out.
Yeah.
What is it that I need to understand?
And yeah.
And apologies for my own not exploring other ways to say that. You did say that to me a few times, and I didn't deviate much. So
yeah, that's
sorry.
okay. No, that's fine, because you did mention, I was aware that you knew about it, and I, and I thought, and I knew that we would get to it at some point. I just thought that I would, see what I could do. For just,
Yeah.
You're not responsible for me either. The interesting thing was, when I asked that question, rather than what is it that you want me to know, when I got to what do I need to understand, instead of it moved away from the words thing. I think that was part of it too. Like, so there was it moved entirely into the sensation thing. So what I would get would not be words and explanation. I would just get the sensation, or the feeling, or the which is about understanding, whereas knowledge is just about knowing it. I can know something and not understand it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, it was just interesting, and I just thought, and it wasn't perfect by any means. There was still a bit of antsiness around it, but it took much less effort on the part on behalf, it took much less effort for it to let me know that information that way than to try and get me to know something.
Nice.
But because it was, so anyway, that was interesting. And I just thought that I would let you know that.
Great. Yeah. I'll try to remember to incorporate that.
Yeah. And we'll see how it goes. Now that I've told you, it'll probably, parts will probably, they're probably in a conflab at the moment about how can we get around this one. Because there is some resistance to, there's sort of a generalized resistance there, and I'm not sure what it's about. But anyway, that's a step. It is a step in the right direction. And the other thing I wanted to tell you about was my reaction to the B session, which was kind of over the top, James.
Your reaction was over the top?
Yes, my reaction was pretty. So when I saw that it was B, that, because you told me there was a interesting session coming up, and when I saw that it was B, I thought she's only had I actually thought she'd only had one session prior, but when I looked, I saw she'd had two. So I actually went back and started and listened to the first two before I listened to that one. So I might have overdone that a wee bit, maybe. But anyway, it was useful. So I listened to the first two, and then I listened to that, and I couldn't get through it. I couldn't listen to it. I had to stop it. And it seemed, it was quite a big reaction. And I know what I was going to say. That's right. And then, and I'll tell you about what happened during one of those stops in a minute. But I have since listened to it again, the B's third one. And
297.
297, yes. And it was totally different. And I didn't have that huge reaction. I don't quite know what I'm trying to say here. There was I think that I was probably in some kind of rather tender state when I listened to it for some reason.
Uh-huh.
But I do feel a bit odd about the huge reaction that I had. So maybe that's this starting point or something. But the other thing I wanted to say was in one of those breaks, because I had to stop a couple of times,
Uh-huh.
and in one of those breaks, it was a long break. It was like an hour or so. And I went and listened to, went inside and we said, what's going on here? What's all this about? What's all this about then? And once again, I can't remember the whole process that I went through, but I did.
Sure.
But there are three scenes that I remember really vividly from whatever happened in that time. One scene was at the bonfire. One scene was at the park bench, and one scene was making contact with a part. And both the bonfire one and the park bench, I wasn't there. I was way outside, just observing it, both of them. And I could see all the parts in both those scenes. I could see all the parts. And at the bonfire, they were all having a great time. And there was a guitar and they were teasing each other and, telling rude jokes and, rolling around laughing and stuff. And when I wasn't there, I didn't go there. And at the park, I was observing and I didn't go there. And it was just full, the park. There was nobody on the park bench, but the park was full of and I knew that they were all my parts. And they were having a good time. And things kept hopping up, kept getting added to the park. So now there's an ant farm. I don't know if you remember, you used to be able to get ant farms where you
yeah, I was just shopping for one a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really? Yeah. And you could look at them through the glass, and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
So there's an ant farm, there's a mudslide, there's cubby houses, there's a tire swing, there's this perfect tree, this absolutely perfect tree, and it's perfect because the branches are exactly the right distance apart.
For climbing?
For climbing. So that it's not easy, it takes a little bit, but you can do it, And so the park is just full of all this stuff. So what I got from both those scenes, which I've never really quite had before, was this kind of this sort of oceanic feeling, of just like I guess it was love that I was feeling, love and I just had this huge smile on my face. It was just sort of like looking at them and just going, hey, whoa. I didn't need to be in there showing it to them. It just sort of like, okay, so I'm struggling here because the words that are coming into my head to my ear sound completely and utterly naff and ridiculous and, so I don't want to say them. They sound silly. But I was radiating at them, James. I was radiating.
Yeah.
And they were in my...
That sounds awesome.
Sorry. It was lovely. It was so nice. But when I try and describe it, I just go, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's hard to put in words.
Well, not only is it hard to put in words, but I'm a bit embarrassed about it. There's an embarrassed part and a skeptical part and you don't believe in that kind of shit part and all of that.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
So I'm getting a lot of messages about how to describe this in a realistic and a sensible and a approachable way, rather than that sort of like woo woo way. But it was woo woo.
Yeah.
I can't
I
deny it.
guess. I mean, feeling love for your parts, and that radiates out of you, and it kind of envelops all of them, and you're able to see
Yes.
all of them, and even if they're um, getting along or not getting along, just to be able to kind of capture that with that wide view that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know I was there, and they didn't know what was falling out of the sky upon them.
Mm-hmm.
But I did, and it was kind of amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Last time we talked, there was this shutdown part, and it was talking about how it had to have this really wide view. I forget the exact words, to kind of see everything, and we talked
keep
about
its eye on everything. Yes.
Self's ability to do that,
Yes.
or to help it with that.
Yes. Hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so that was those two scenes, and it was really nice, and I was so pleased to be able to get there. And then the third scene was, sorry, I'm not being effervescent about it. I feel like I should be, but I just can't let myself. And the third scene was, it was a part, and once again, I can't remember how we arrived talking to each other, but when I first found her, I don't know, I think she's probably in exile, I think. When I first found her, she was walking on a tightrope. And the balance was so hard, like she had to, everything had to concentrate on that balance. And if she fell off the tightrope, she didn't know and I didn't know, but it was going to be horrendous for some reason. There were some other things in there which I can't quite get back to, but the main thing was the tightrope. And Self was definitely there. I offered to help her off the tightrope, and she wasn't having it. She didn't want that. So I just stood there and with my arm, with my hand outstretched to her so that she could grab it if she wanted to. And in the end, she did. She did grab my hand, and she did come down off the tightrope. And then I don't remember, except that we ended up in a place where she could lie down. She hadn't been able to lie down ever because she was on this tightrope and needed to keep her balance, and she wanted to lie down. And she was so thin and frail and not in good shape. She was really not in good shape. And she laid down, and I'm not sure what it was on. I just know that it was soft and welcoming, so anyway, she laid down on whatever this was, and as she was laying there, she started off sort of in the fetal position, and then as she was laying there, she sort of slowly stretched out a little bit, and she also sort of plumped up and looked, started to look healthier. And her arms were crossed over the front of her chest, like really closely over the front of her chest. And I can't, like so much of this I don't remember. Whether we had a conversation, I don't know what happened. But in the end, what I knew was that she did not want to give me whatever she was holding close to her chest.
Yeah, okay.
She just said, I'm keeping it safe.
All right.
I'm the safekeeper, and I'm keeping it safe. And she didn't want to. That was it. There was no more talk about that. And all she wanted to do was to look at beautiful things. So we set up a waterfall. So she's got a waterfall to look at. We set up a rainforest, and she was in the rainforest lying down on the floor of the forest, and everything is dripping with water and is misty and everything's shiny and totally quiet, just that real muffled sound when you get into when the mist comes down. She just loves that anyway. And we set up a fireplace so that she could have flames to look at because she likes looking into flames. And so she's there. She's there. It's lying in the soft place, looking at beautiful things, and safekeeping this thing, whatever it is that she's safekeeping.
Okay.
And that was the third thing. And that was pretty. It was pretty cool. So I don't really know who she is or what she's connected with, but she's off her tightrope.
She did feel like she had exile energy.
I'm not sure I know what exile energy is, really.
Okay.
But maybe, yeah, probably. I'm not sure, Jane. I don't know. I just know that she's.
Well, one way to tell is that they're not protectors. Protectors have a job to do.
Yes, right.
And whereas exiles,
yes,
they're holding on to things often, but they're not working for you in the same way that a protector is.
No. She had this kind of weird job of staying on the tightrope. But yeah. So I don't know if she had that job, or if that was a job for me or for her.
Or if it's just how she felt and where she was stuck.
Yes, that sort of finely balanced, can't move or I'll fall. Very, very sensitive, like it only takes a little wobble, tiny little wobble, and you're in trouble. Yes, so maybe that was a description of a way of me understanding how she was feeling. Yeah.
All right.
So, anyway, those are the things that happened in that session. And the last thing is I have been feeling very, and I'm running into problems with the words again. I wish I could just do a brain dump and say, here, this is what I was feeling. Can you feel that? Rather than having to try and describe it, because it always loses something. But the kind of words that have been coming up is that I have been feeling I'm being challenged in lots of ways, in lots of different areas of my life at the minute. IFS even was a challenge to begin with because it focuses things in a very different way, and lots of other areas. And the result is that I'm feeling very incompetent in general. I'm feeling very shaky. I'm feeling very vulnerable and unmoored. And, I've got lots and lots of words. And I think my guess is that the response to 297 was coming from that place. There was something, that I don't know what to think about myself or the world. I don't know what I believe anymore. I don't know. I've had weird reactions from people,
Yeah.
This woman was describing this absolutely awful situation that she's into me, and I told her it was outrageous what was happening to her, and I would do whatever I could. And the next day I saw her, and she snubbed me, and I said, "What's up?" And she said, "Well, I thank you for telling me the truth." And I said, "The truth? What truth?" "For telling me that you won't do anything." And I just went, "What?"
Did you say she snubbed you?
Yes, snubbed. Is that not a word you know?
Yes. I just kind of cut off a little bit. So she snubbed you, and she said, "Thank you for telling me the truth that you're not willing to do anything."
Yes. And I just went, I spent, I don't know how long yesterday with you, telling you, I totally get it. It's totally outrageous. Something has to be done.
And she was upset.
She wasn't upset at the time. It was a weird situation. She was in the driveway, and we couldn't finish the conversation properly because a car drove in behind, and she just had to drive away to let the car in. So it didn't. The conversation just dropped off a cliff. It didn't end, and she didn't. So I don't know. The whole thing was just like her version of what happened, or her and mine. What? And I don't usually get that. I usually, I'm not usually on a different planet from other people.
Yeah.
And those weren't the words that I had said to her at all. I just, and lots of things like that happening. I'm finding that.
Did you feel like in your original conversation with her in the driveway, did you feel like you were in a place of self-energy then?
Good question.
Or was it, or you could answer that in an amount of degree of self-energy?
There was, at times, definitely I was. When she was talking to me about what happened to her and what is going on happening to her, yes, totally.
Is this someone you've known for a long time?
No, it's so this, just to clarify the situation a little bit, it's another resident in my complex who is being abused and harassed by another person who's living in the complex. That everybody is trying to figure out what we can do, and just through a whole bunch of legal things, there's fuck all we can do. We have tried lots of things, and just chance things like the Constitution that was written in 1964 or something, and there's nothing in the Constitution that there's nothing we can use. The only thing that can happen is that she needs to go to the police, and we encourage her and support her to do that. But she keeps asking us to do something. And so yes, sometimes I was in self around that, but I probably was. There was probably the Yeah, good point, actually. Yeah. There were two parts to the conversation, and she's forgotten the self part and remembered the other, and I've forgotten the other part and remembered the self. Yeah.
Yeah, so she doesn't feel like she's not prepared to go to the police, and she's hoping that her neighbors can intervene somehow.
Yeah.
She comes to
Yeah.
you and says,
Yes.
"Come on, what can you do for me?" More or less, and
Yes.
and you empathize with her,
Yes.
but don't offer to do anything different because you don't know of anything that you can do differently.
Yeah. Well, I did offer to do something, and I was checking it out with her. I said, if I do this and this and this, is that okay with you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, this is what I intend to do with what you've told me and what, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did feel like I offered her something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what she wanted. What she wants is him gone, and I don't blame her. He should be gone. His behaviour is completely, it's outrageous. It's completely outrageous.
And this might be silly or irrelevant. What degree of self-energy was she bringing into that conversation?
Yeah, she has been suffering this for 6 years. This abuse has gone on for 6 years. She is not in a good place in her life. And I said that to her. I said, this must be affecting your mental and physical health, you know? And she said, yes, it is, you know, and I heard all about it.
When you tell the story to me, as you look back on it, does that still feel like you are feeling incompetent?
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's something we can investigate, or anything at all.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a part of, you know, I would definitely like to investigate that whole sea change in my life, because that's just one example of stuff that's happened, you know. Mm-hmm. My sister told me that I'm unsafe to talk to, you know, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And other sort of values and stuff that I'm being I'm being challenged on, not by anyone personally, but just by stuff I'm reading and listening to and thinking about. And I'm going, what the fuck?
Yeah. And just for my own parts, curiosity, how does any of that relate to what was coming up when you were listening to B?
Yeah.
Are you able to connect the dots at all there?
No, okay. Not
fine.
at all. I'm pretty sure there is some connection because it just brought floods of tears, just floods and floods of tears. So I don't see how there can't be, but I have no idea. I don't know. Yeah. Which is why I think that it feels like an overreaction.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't make the connection, and I've listened to it since, and I don't have that reaction. So I don't know, James. I don't know.
I'm pretty much in tears every time I listen to it, and I've listened to it multiple times. So maybe we can both connect some dots for both of us.
So have you connected any for you? Like what?
Well, the word that keeps coming up is just how much I felt, you know, I just felt caring.
Yeah.
When I listen back, I feel caring and
compassion.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe there's something about the way that she shares her stories that I tend to, I easily become very caring and compassionate when I'm listening to her.
Yeah.
It might be in the way that she, in her bravery and honesty, with so many topics, it's like she's able to just go there.
Yes.
It's and she's got parts up, but it's like we're not fighting. You know what I mean? Like there's no what the fuck's kind of going on between me and her or me and her parts. There's that she has that trust in me, and and she has that honesty.
I think that's it. The honesty is so direct. There's no game playing. There's no
right. Right.
Putting it in nice terms or something.
And I think that might call me to my highest self also.
Yes.
It's like, okay, it's easier for me to feel compassionate. I don't have parts up because we're not arguing. We're not, you know what I mean? Like that happens in calls where I make a suggestion, the other person's like, no, that's not it. And it's kind of like we're on to bickering about something.
Yeah, totally. There's something about the directness and the lack of it's a direct connection. There's no cultural or any other kind of interference in there. It's just yeah,
it feels like that to me.
Yeah. And her ability to just, to say, I trust you, James, like,
or I love you.
Or I love you. Totally. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I've got two things going on at the moment. I'm so interested to know how, how that was at the end of the call for you.
The first thing that came to mind is that, I work with kids a lot, and
right.
And the number of times a little child will tell me that they love me, I mean, it happens all the time. And and
hey, that's what it is. That's what it is, James. That's what it is. It's the childlike quality. Sorry to interrupt, but that just
childlike honesty. It's just direct and honest.
Yes. Sorry.
I mean, that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting for me, and that's why I am great at working with kids, because they're so honest, and it calls me to that higher compassion. It's why my conversations with B, I think, are what they are. And ultimately, I think that that's something that that IFS is kind of bringing out of all of us is turning towards those honest and vulnerable children in us and bringing out that best quality of self.
There you go.
And directing it into inwardly.
It is so untainted and unrequiring of any. It's not done for a reason. It's just done because it's a fact. It's just, and calling to us. Yeah. And we have it, or adults tend to have it under so many layers.
Right.
That straight, direct contact with no agendas attached. We have layers and layers on top of that. Yeah, maybe. So, I think you're right.
And, you know, I think that that's a quality of her system, let's say, which,
Yes.
I mean, I don't want it to sound like, oh, well, B is this enlightened person who has this nature and the rest of us don't. Because that can also be something that's led by protectors. You know, there is over trusting, there is over vulnerability, for example, and that can also be, you know, not being self-led.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, I'm just speaking in generalities here about when we see anything in other people, until we understand their system and the parts that are going on in there, then we're guessing, you know.
Yeah. And this is what happened. This is what happened there was in a session. We don't know, you know, just day to day and every day, and sort of how much of that is present for her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do is be present with what's there in front of us. There's no use speculating on anything else, is there?
Well, I think we're speculating on it because we're wanting to understand what's going on in you when you're listening back. And
yeah, fair enough. I mean, I don't want to speculate on her, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
All I know is that it affected me.
Yeah.
And it's affecting me right now.
Me too. Do you want to explore more about what's coming up for you and how that is for you?
Yeah.
Okay. All parts are welcome.
Scary. Yeah.
Scared parts are welcome.
What
do you think about starting with the one who's scared?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm very muddled at the minute.
Just let them know that they're all welcome.
I can't make that true right now.
You can't make it true in you?
No.
Okay. They're all welcome in me. Right now, I'm feeling welcome to whatever parts come up.
Okay.
Whatever you say, whatever you share, if you hang up on me, if you whatever. I'm feeling open, welcoming, curious about.
Yeah.
So how about that scared one?
Yeah, what about her?
What is it that it wants either of us to understand? How big it all is, how complicated it all is, how dangerous it all is, how Okay. Yeah. So it has fear and is concerned that we are not, or maybe not, grasping how big, complicated, and dangerous it all is.
No, not even beginning to.
Okay. And what is that in reference to? Are we talking about the world or your system or this project?
Well, it's probably my system, but it feels like the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And she's nodding, and she's saying, yeah, it's the world. It's the world.
Uh-huh. Yeah. How do you feel towards her?
She's waiting for something from me, and she's looking at me, and she's waiting for something from me, and I'm trying to figure out what it is.
How do you feel towards her when you see her saying that this world is dangerous?
I feel scared for her.
Uh-huh.
I'm worried
Okay.
about her.
Okay. So does that feel like it's her scaredness that's kind of yours right now?
Sorry, say that again. She's scared. Yeah.
Yeah. And is that what you're feeling? Is her fear?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's the fear, the bigness and the scaredness of the world. She's scared of that, but she knows about it. What she's really scared of is that I don't understand. That's what she's really scared of.
Okay.
And she's really she doesn't trust. That's what it is. She doesn't trust.
Okay.
She's showing me the bigness and the scariness of the world.
Mm-hmm.
To see what my reaction is, to know if she. But that's not what really worries her. She manages that. What really worries her is, and what she's, got a beady eye on me.
Yeah.
Is to see how I react to all that scariness. Because she ain't going nowhere till she knows that.
Okay.
I'm not sure if any of that makes sense.
Maybe I can try to reflect back what I'm getting.
Yes, please.
She knows that the world is scary, dangerous. And she holds on to that. Her concern beyond just that the world is dangerous is that you don't understand the bigness of all of that, and I guess she's concerned that you won't be able to live with that or handle that.
Yeah. And there's a step more as well, which is that I won't be able to handle her. I won't be able to give her what she needs. If I don't understand what she understands about the world, if I don't get that.
Yeah. I'm kind of inclined to agree about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That understanding her concerns are an essential step to understanding how you can provide for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
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 How do you feel towards her as she says all that to you?
Well, that makes total sense to me.
Uh-huh.
I do the same.
Let her know that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Feeling curious and or compassionate?
Not quite that yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can ask her to give you some space to step back or even step in front of you, and just let her know that for either of us to understand her concerns fully, which we're all agreeing is an essential step, it's easiest if she lets us see her more and gives you space to do that.
Yes. Yes. Okay, let me let her know that. She's going, nice words. Sound good.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's doing a risk assessment to say, I don't know if those words are true. I don't know if what you're telling me is true. I don't know if you believe them or you're just saying it.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the risk for me of agreeing that they're true and you believe them? What are the risks?
Yeah, what are the risks? What are the risks to her to letting us get to know her?
Oh, it's all, I don't know, it's just turned into a mess in there.
It's okay. She doesn't have to have an answer. And I just want to let her know that she's welcome the way that she is.
Yeah.
And she sounds like she's doing something very important, even though I don't fully understand it. I'd like to.
Well, you said that her giving us a bit of space would help with that, and she doesn't know if she believes you, or if those words are true, or if they're just words.
Mm-hmm.
But she's done the risk assessment and figures that there can't be much downside to giving it a go.
Yeah. And what it means is basically that she allows yourself to be more present. So if she's got she's got fear, and if she is kind of blending that fear with you, then it makes it hard for yourself to see her as well. So we're not asking her to get rid of her fear. We actually want to get to know it and understand it. And it's just easier when it's not my fear, when it's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not. Yeah. The words I'm getting is that when there aren't clouds in the way.
Right.
Yeah, she's okay with that.
Yeah.
She still doesn't. It's still. She needs a lot of proof of things. Things have to be proved, not just accepted because somebody says words. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. Let's go that route.
Okay.
Let's go the prove it route.
Yeah, she wants proof.
Okay, great.
And I don't know how to give her that, really.
I don't either, but I think we can find out.
Okay.
And I think that I get it. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with her for asking for that. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Right. No, it's not unreasonable.
How do you feel towards her?
Curious. Yeah.
Yeah. So does she see in the way that she just unblended with you and parted some of those clouds to let you be curious?
Yes, she kind of does. Yes. In fact, she's marked that down as her first data point.
All right.
She's marked that down as one tiny, tiny little bit of proof.
Yeah.
But one mark on a graph doesn't describe anything.
Mm-hmm. You could ask her, what's next? What would she like for us to learn or explore about her or understand that would help in that?
That's a really good question. What is the next thing? The next thing is something to do with it's something to do with commitment. It's something to do with this not being a one-off. It's something to do with part of the proof will be that I stay around. That's the next thing. Okay. I just have to. If she sees me wandering off, that's it. We're done.
Okay. So a big part of the proof for her is your commitment and persistence
and presence. Yeah.
Presence.
Yeah.
How does she feel about your presence at this moment?
She likes it. It's good, but it's only one.
Right. I'm just making. I just want to know that we're talking about the same thing. That she.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She likes it, and it's good. And she.
How does she feel about our curiosity and letting her tell us what's important to her?
She doesn't quite trust it.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't know what we're going to do with the answers.
I don't either.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, well, I can't tell her that till I have them. Yeah. You know, it's sort of feels a bit like a standoff.
But and that feels like she can't trust if she doesn't know what we're going to do with the answers.
Yes. And if I don't have the answers, I can't show her that I can be trusted.
But what she wanted was presence.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm doing that. You know, that beam, that radiation thing from the park. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Is there more she wants to say about the trust and the answers?
She says that she thinks I'm kind of beginning to get it. But I've got a lot more to learn before.
And how do you respond to that?
That's cool. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Right. You respond with presence.
Yeah.
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 I think if we showed up with a bunch of answers, then she would be right. She would be right not to trust us.
She'd be gone.
Right. Right.
She wouldn't even be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm getting distracted. I don't know what by.
Still feeling distracted?
Yeah.
How's this part feeling about your presence and just the short conversation we've had with her so far?
Which part are we talking to?
The one that was scared about all the danger in the world and that you wouldn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, so ask the question again.
How is she feeling about, how does she feel about you being present and about this conversation so far with her?
Yeah. She likes it, but she doesn't fully trust it.
Okay.
She thinks that she's trying to find out whether the words that are getting said about it are true or not.
Uh-huh.
And so far she hasn't got any counter evidence, but
you know, at the beginning of this conversation, you were telling me about how just because you know something doesn't mean you understand it.
yes.
And you were talking about how it gets kind of beyond words when you're in that place of understanding with a part.
Yes.
I wonder if she has some of that same feeling that the words are, it's the words that are hard to trust or not telling the whole story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Totally. That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
So she's sort of letting me know that she'll know when it happens. But she can't give me words to for me to, oh gosh, it's hard.
Yeah, she'll know when what happens when she feels trusting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have to do that. She can't explain in words to me how to do that.
You okay with that?
Yeah. I don't, I'm a bit, I don't understand yet, but I get what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I get that I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, she relaxed a bit when I said that. No, she didn't relax when I said that. She relaxed when she felt that I was being true.
Yeah. I wonder how you or her feel about self's hypothetical ability to figure it out.
She's really doubtful.
Mm-hmm. And self is
Self is pretty confident
yeah.
that we can. What I don't know, what I'm trying to figure out, and what there's actually quite a lot happening between us at the moment, between her and me.
There's what between you?
There's quite a lot happening between us, but it's not.
Just good transmission.
Yeah, it's not words that are happening though.
Awesome.
I it's kind of like getting the radio tuned. I'm running up and down the dial trying to so that all that static doesn't get in the way, and find that where just the thing between her and me is
it's direct.
Oh,
clear.
Yeah, it's direct. Yeah, it just happened for a little second there. Yeah, she got it. She got that. She's getting what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
She's sitting down and giving me some time, which is generous of her.
Her other big concern was about you sticking around.
Yeah. Yeah, she suggested I get a chair as well, so I've done that.
Yeah, got the dial set, got a chair set up.
Yeah.
She has seen the very important step of her own unblending. So I know she's talked a lot about this is for you to figure out and you're going to do all this, but really for us to get here in the first place does require Alex to unblend. So it is a joint thing, and you've both taken steps in that direction.
Yeah, actually, she acknowledges that. She has noted it down as another data point. She's accepted that. Yeah. She's telling me even 2 dots on a graph doesn't tell you anything yet.
Would it be helpful to make arrangements about how to get back to this in the future?
Yeah.
If that's what her concern is.
Yeah, I think we need to do that because I can't just stay here forever like this. I've got I think my electricity has gone off. There's things I need to do.
Okay. Yeah. So do you have any ideas about that, or does she?
She's back to not trusting me again. She's, what is it? She's not interested in long descriptions about this and that and the other and blah, 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 blah.
Right. Yeah. She just wants to know that you'll show up again.
Yeah.
Okay. How do we do that?
Yeah.
I can make suggestions, but they're just things that have worked for me and people I've talked to.
I've just had this weirdest thing. I have no idea what it means. But, and she doesn't really talk, you know, she just sends energy. So, putting into words what I've just got from her is that she says you need to leave something behind that's important to you so that you come back for it.
Any ideas about that? I can offer one.
Yeah, go, please.
There's the recording of this conversation.
Ah. Ah. She is, she's acknowledging that that's a possibility. She's got still the trusting, but she trusted about the space thing, so she's willing to say, yeah, that might work.
Mm-hmm. And I can send it to you right after the call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, she's noting that down. Because it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet, so it's not proof yet.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the reasons I publish is because it tells my parts that I'm going to keep coming back.
Right.
And it's kind of one of the reasons why I have a podcast at all is to reassure my own parts that I care about this.
Yeah.
Put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah. Yeah, sort of accountability thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, she's there's a tiny little spark of enthusiasm there from her. There's something else that she's sending me to, which I can't. Oh dear, we're getting into the corny stuff again.
You don't have to speak it out loud.
No, right. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Can honor those parts that are embarrassed by that, and you can be maximum corny with the ones who want to see it.
Yeah, she's okay. I'm trying to I get what she's saying, and I'm trying to work out how to do it. And she's told me it's good enough. What I've done is good enough. It's not there yet. What she's asking from me, and I have tried to give her, is not as much as she wanted, but it's good enough. She's saying it's good enough for now.
And does that address at all the coming back concern?
Yeah, that was the coming back bit. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
She's saying, okay, are we done here? Can I go now? I've got a world to attend to.
Okay. Any requests of me?
She's waving at you.
Hey.
Hey.
Thanks for letting us get to know you.
Yeah, getting to know is a bit too far, but thanks for saying good day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks for being open to the conversation.
Yeah, totally. And I'm sending that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it have to be so slow?
I'm laughing because not in my experience that this is slow at all, but
No, but you know what I mean.
I welcome that part that believes that.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other?
I'm feeling a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the part that wants all the proof. She's off doing her own thing.
And you're feeling weird.
And I'm feeling weird, yeah.
Do you want to say more about the weirdness?
It's very much related to what I was talking to you about feeling unanchored in the world. And so the weirdness is something to do with coming back to the world and that same feeling of incompetence and
Yeah.
So it feels weird to come back to that because I don't like that feeling.
Right. Just want to do IFS all day.
Yeah.
Me too. And I think that you can do that. And that might give you that confidence in the world. If you do
is it entirely healthy, James, to do that? Is that entirely healthy? I'm not sure that's entirely healthy.
To acknowledge the parts in you, to ask for space, and to lead from self?
To do it all day. I don't know.
When is self not a good idea? When is mindfulness of your own blendedness not gonna help you out?
Yeah. Someone's screaming at me, self-indulgence, self-indulgence.
Self-indulgence. It's yeah. Feels selfish. All those damn selfish people with their compassion and their curiosity and their right. Don't need any more of them around.
It's something to do with, see, with you,
Mm-hmm.
you're taking that and doing something in the real world with it.
Yes.
You know, there are real people with whole separate systems from you
Uh-huh.
calling in, and you're talking to them.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't feel so true for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a practitioner. So I'm doing I'm doing the guiding of others in the process.
But you're doing that in the real world. I'm not.
Give it a try.
You sneaky little bugger. Nah, not yet. Nah.
I'm only referring to unblending and self-leadership, which is the ultimate aim of all of this entire project, is to help people with that. So I'm not saying go be a practitioner. I'm saying I think you already know the difference between conversations in which you're blended versus not, and the very real outcomes with your very real relationships.
Yeah.
Depending on how you show up and where you are with your parts.
Yeah.
And the idea that that's self-indulgent, again, all parts are welcome. I'm open to hearing that, but
when you send me the audio, this part will be on it as well.
Yep, it'll all be there.
Yeah, because I really need to. There's something really important in here that I need to.
I get it. For the longest time that we have parts that have internalized that message that it's selfish to look inward. You're supposed to look outward. You're supposed to serve others. And we have this, they have this kind of black and white. The more you care about yourself, the less you're caring about others. So stop doing that.
Yeah, that's not quite my thing.
Okay.
It's not that the more I care for myself, the less I care about others. It's more along the lines of the more I care for myself and don't make use of that, and don't the more pointless it is. Like, there's nothing wrong with this self stuff, but it can't just end at that. It has to be
action out in the world.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that the doing of it is selfish or self-indulgent. It's that only doing it and not taking it further. That's the... Oh, gosh. Yeah. There's a lot going on in my head right now.
It does sound very important. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. It does feel important. Yeah.
We'll stay with that part and we can figure out more about that.
Yeah, I need to figure that out at some point. It matters.
Yeah.
And I think, James, one of the reasons it matters is that if I don't figure it out, I think that there will be many, many parts saying, you need to stop doing this IFS nonsense. I mean, I can hear them now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I would probably agree if nothing gets better observably for you in your life and your in mental state and your relationships, then
and this feeling of incompetence that's around at the moment is you know, it's like, is anything getting better?
Yeah, well, good thing you have the one that keeps track and wants proof.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
You know, I could tell you all the things that I see in you improving. I'm sure that you would have parts happy to shoot those down, but
oh yeah, they're lining up, getting ready. Yeah.
So
okay,
but again, I think that's kind of the beauty of having the podcast is, well, you can listen back yourself.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, just the way that even in this conversation, like the way we're analyzing the conversation with B, you know, a lot came up for you in that, but we're able to have a conversation about it from where we are now versus had we heard that a couple years ago, who knows what would come up.
Yeah, totally. It's really cold here today, and even though it's springtime, it shouldn't be cold. And my heater went off a wee while ago. So I have to go and check what's going on with the power.
Okay.
And I'm feeling it's getting chilly in here. So
feel like a good place to stop then?
Yeah. I think I need to.
All right.
But I need an ending.
I can tell you what I'm about to go do.
Yeah, let's do that. Yes. What are you about to do?
Well, you know, I'm doing this carnivore experiment.
Yep.
So right before this call, I live out in the country, and it just so happens that I can practically walk to my neighbor's cattle and venison processing plant. So I went over there and I said, "Hey, I'm a carnivore." And I bought a bunch of fatty cuts of this hyper local grass fed beef and some pork. And then I came home and I put it all in the pan. So before this call, I fried up some like 2 pounds of beef liver with almost probably about a pound of bacon fat. And that is currently sitting out in my kitchen, just stinking up the house. And then I thought, well, you know, that's just kind of part of, like, I'm not just going to have liver and bacon for dinner. I better get this steak out of the fridge. So that is also sitting on the counter, coming up to room temperature. So I got about a 2 pound, I think it's a ribeye or some other steak sitting there that I'll throw in the pan too. And I'll probably,
that's some meal, James. That's some meal.
I'll probably fry that with butter.
Yes.
You know, so I have the right fat content.
Cream cheese on anything?
No, you know, I think I'm backing out of the cream cheese thing. I tried that. I tried that a couple days, and I don't know. Going real back to basics. So I'm gonna go have a steak. I'm gonna go have a steak with butter on it, and some bacon fried liver, and then see what happens.
I love liver. People get weird about liver, but it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, that sounds like it's
exciting.
calling to you.
Yeah.
Yum yum. Okay. All right. Well, enjoy all your meat, and and I'll and thank you for this. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have
Wonderful.
a good rest of your evening.
Okay. Bye now.
Okay, James. Bye-bye. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.